And I'm going to share my screen and we have a slideshow for you guys. All righty. Kelly, you'll have to unmute yourself. I muted everybody.
Okay, sorry, I was just chatting away. Well, welcome everyone to our call this evening. So in honor of National Nutrition Month, we wanted to share with you a little bit about health coaching with heart. And so as Danielle mentioned, if everyone wouldn't mind, kind of putting in the chat box their name, where y'all are connecting from and how you heard about this amazing program this evening. And then we'll jump right in and get started.
Awesome.
Danielle's going to start us off to pretty much kind of like let everyone like who we are, what is Optavia, and then we'll kind of branch on as we kind of move through this presentation.
Well, it is just an honor to be in front of you all tonight. This is just such a passion of mine. As you'll learn as we continue on with our presentation tonight, you'll learn why I love this program so much. But the name of our company is Optavia. We have all partnered with Optavia because we believe in their mission. And our mission is we love to help people achieve lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. And we really believe in our mission, and we really have a lot of work to do. So we want to share with you more about that too. I've got more people coming in. I'm so sorry. So we have been transforming lives for over 40 years, guys. So Optavia has been around for a long time. I'm so sorry. I've got two people in the waiting room and I don't know how to get them back. Hold on for 1 second. Let me go under participants. Okay, here we are. Okay. They're piling in, guys. That's so awesome.
Everybody shows up a little late. They're trying to catch the last few minutes of the basketball game. It's happening right now.
What a busy time.
Especially all my Michigan people.
That's so awesome. But like I said, a little bit about Optavia. 40 years we've been in business. So to me, that means a lot as a business owner. We have impacted over 2 million lives. That says a lot about who we are as well. Did you know that Forbes magazine in 2020 named us the second fastest growing company? And guess what? We have been the fastest growing health company in 2020 and 2021. So that also tells you something that we're doing something right. So that is exciting as well. We are traded on the New York Stock Exchange. That's so cool to me. And as you can see over here in the right, this is our co-founder, and this is probably one of the main reasons why I partnered with Optavia, because he brought to us the Habits of Health Transformational System. And so we're going to get to share with you more about what that actually is, but he is our co-founder and his name is Dr. Anderson. All right. So I do want to always talk about this because success with Optavia isn't like a 9 to 5. You don't clock in and clock out. And success with Optavia really is, it takes a lot of work, grit, leadership, skills, persistence, successful sales efforts to be successful with Optavia. And the great thing is, I think dietitians are perfect people to partner with Optavia to share this mission, because I believe that most of the dietitians I've ever worked with have all of these qualities. So we just want to talk a little bit, and you guys, I don't know what field you're in nutrition or health, but I was born in 1975. So obesity has nearly tripled. Something's going on, right? Since 1975. most people now, we live in countries where overweight and obesity kills people more than our underweight, malnourished people. That's scary. Almost a third of adults with partners report that money is a major source of conflict in their relationship, and I can vouch for that. And that's a little bit about why my story as well. 69% of workers were stressed over their finances. I mean, probably right now more than that. 72% of people actually admit that at work that they're worried about their personal finances. What a stress. That is so stressful. In July of 2020, this is the scary part. Rates of depression and anxiety in the United States were more than triple before the pandemic. So that's really scary. So nowadays, when we ask people, how are you? We don't know what is going to come on the other side of that, do we? So we are here to help. We are here to help the world. So now I want to introduce you to Jen Musinski. She is going to share with you the slide about the dangers of obesity.
Thank you, Danielle.
You're
And
welcome.
hopefully everybody can hear me. So most of you that are in this room are, have some sort of healthcare background, mostly dietitians. I see a lot of dietitians here, health coaches. So the progressive danger of obesity, especially with American lifestyle choices, where Dr. Anderson calls them habits of disease, right? So unfortunately, the obesity rate is rising. It can lead to a cascading effect on one's health. First of all, insulin resistance. I just discovered that 3 million cases per year of insulin resistance are happening right now. A lot of people with obesity and overweight will end up with metabolic syndrome. That's when you have high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and excess abdominal fat, right? So not a good thing to have. That comes with all sorts of risks. So insulin resistance is on the rise, and usually it goes untreated, right, until it turns into diabetes. Diabetes is actually the top cause for adult blindness. And also, like Danielle was mentioning before about depression, people with diabetes are 2 to 3 times more likely to be depressed. And there's going to be, if it continues like this, there's going to be 200 million new cases by 2045. People with diabetes, definitely have a higher risk of cardiovascular disease, and cardiovascular disease is the #1 cause of death in America. So scary stuff. That's why I'm so passionate, with probably everybody else in the room, about doing something about this. Then now we're going to have our next slide. And I believe Kelly's going to take this one, right?
Yeah. So as many of us know, obesity comes with a lot of comorbidities, as Jen just kind of reviewed as well. This slide is particularly amazing to show that just with even a 5% weight loss, because a 5% weight loss is considered clinically meaningful. So just as little as 5% can have an impact on reducing comorbidities. And a lot of the comorbidities that you see on this slide, so the more weight loss we lose, the more we can really improve a lot of our comorbidities and oftentimes reverse the comorbidities. So it is many times weight driven, aside from hereditary factors, but weight is a huge component. So just even looking on the right-hand side of this woman, where Jen kind of touched on, and Danielle, about depression. So with weight loss, a 55% where it's totally resolved with that. Sleep apnea is definitely a lot of times weight driven. Asthma, cardiovascular disease, hypertension, reflux, degenerative joint disease, stress, urinary incontinence. And then you have on the left-hand side other factors such as migraines, hyperlipidemia with cholesterol, fatty liver. So many people where I work definitely just come in with fatty liver, just losing weight reverses a lot of our those fatty liver enzymes, metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, PCOS, gout. So just with weight loss alone, you can see huge health benefits from that. And then on to our next slide, where Alicia is going to start getting into the 4 components. She's going to lead with the first component on what is an independent Optavia coach and what that looks like.
Thank you so much, Kelly, for the introduction. So the secrets of lifelong transformation, there are many secrets, but we'll start with these 4 major components that are the Optavia program. And so before I'm a new coach, I have 6 clients now, and I have a private practice. So this, I feel like this tool, Optavia tool, is hits the need for the person that wants to simplify their life now and then learn over time these habits. And they could do that with working with a coach, Optavia coach. And I think it's anyone could be an Optavia coach, but I think it's really awesome when a healthcare provider or an experienced health coach can become a coach, because they come with that interest. And then the other 3 components of the program are the habits of health transformation. So it's a book, and so we get to study and do the study on us. So there's education on like really how to do the work to keep it going. And then there's the life book that also helps with reflection on former habits and current habits and what's helpful and like where people want to be. And then the 3rd component is the Optavia community. And so there's 2 parts to this. There's a Facebook communities, and then there's also weekly meetings on Zoom. And so people can engage in both of those aspects. So they get an individual to help them. They get information to study. They get the community, and then the fuelings are what they eat. There's a bunch of different plans, but usually the first go-to plan is a 5-in-1 plan. And so it's 5 fuelings a day plus a lean and green meal. And so the fuelings are a way to simplify and study and work on the day-to-day to make progress, lose weight, and keep going. So more about the Optavia coaching. So I love coaching and working with people one-on-one. I also like working with people in a group setting. And what I also think is really cool is I have a mentor in the program. I have my Optavia coach who helps me with my business development. And so I can ask them questions all the time, and I meet with them when I need help or regularly, depending on what's going on schedule wise. So I have I have 2 go-to people that can help me anytime, which is the mentorship part of the Optavia program. And then me as a coach, I work with my clients one-on-one, and I really like meeting them where they're at. Whether or not they need help on the actual Optavia program that they're on, whether or not they're on the 5-in-1 plan, or if they're transitioning, or we're talking about, a lot of times people want to like reduce their anxiety about like the future plan, because they're like, it's one thing to lose the weight, it's a whole other ball game to keep it off. And I'm here to help people keep the weight off long term. I think that's a meaningful impact to this world, given the circumstances in terms of obesity, et cetera. So I think the numbers like 76% of adults in the United States are overweight or obese right now. So I think this is really good work that we are able to make a big impact. The next component is going to be shared by Valerie.
Thank you so much, Alicia and Danielle and Kelly and Jen for doing all of this and explaining a lot of it. And so my name is Valerie Bercier. I am also a registered dietitian. I have my master's degree, and I'm actually coming up on 6 years with Optavia, I believe on the 27th. So literally at this time, 6 years ago, I was making that decision to partner with Optavia, or whether or not to partner with Optavia. So it's kind of fitting. March is a really big month for us as dietitians, I think, because, and I think it's even bigger than January, because people are making the decision, or they tried to make the decision in January and maybe didn't get very far. And now that the weather, the sun's coming out, the weather's getting warmer, they got to take their clothes off, they're ready to do something, or they're looking. So it's perfect for me to partner with Optavia 6 years ago, because I was really contemplating starting a private practice. But what I didn't want to do was to create all of my own tools and resources. And so, insert the Habits of Health Transformation System, the life book, the webinars, we're doing stuff like this virtually. That was a dream. I literally was dreaming about helping people and being able to travel. I didn't have a family at the time. I now have a 1-year-old. And I wanted to travel for bowling. I'm a professional bowler. That's kind of what that picture is. And I was just sick of asking for time off that was unpaid and not being able to help people from wherever. I mean, we have cell phones and the internet now, and thankfully, I guess because of the pandemic, everybody knows how to use Zoom these days. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise. There are positives that came from that period of time, but the transformation system is important in the 4 components, because it provides, once the clients get results, and Danielle's going to talk about the nutrition plan, once they get the results, which happens within a week, it creates that teachable moment. They get these big books in the mail, which we don't have to, tell them to do. It just comes with their order. And they think, oh my gosh, how could I ever go through those? Those are textbooks. But as soon as they start to feel better, they lose weight, they gain some energy and clarity, they're like, what is this doing to me? Well, let's open your life book. Let's start. Can you read a page a day? And that becomes the guide and the teacher of the habits of health, which are, healthy motion, eating and hydration, stress management, sleep, developing a healthy mind. And we just have to be their guide and do what we decided to do as a dietitian, to help guide them and support them and be their cheerleader, while having them, have breakthroughs in their own journey. The other piece of it is it teaches them to be the dominant force in their life. So Dr. Anderson mentions that it's taking radical responsibility for what they do. They're in the driver's seat. And so we just get to be, air traffic controllers, I like to say. Like, we like to just say, hey, go here. Oh, you have a question about that? Here's a resource for that. So, going into private practice 6 years ago, I wanted something like that. We have weekly newsletters. It's plug and play. And I'm, super excited to be able to take pictures of certain pages. I just referenced a page to my client earlier about, if you only just have weight loss as your goal, it's page 78 of the Habits of Health, you're going to oscillate. As soon as you get the pain away, or that pain kind of goes away and you're just focused on that, you're going to go back to your old habits. So we have to, awaken them to what's next. And that's part of, the coaching process that Alicia mentioned. The last thing that I'll mention just about the transformation system is it's or actually even just the Optavia program. I've heard it being said a whole bunch of times. Optavia is more of a personal growth company with a side effect of weight loss, or with a nutrition component. Really, it's a personal growth company, and it really is. And I'm so thankful for that, because we're lifelong learners as dietitians, so we can dive into that personal growth and inspire others to dive into that world also. So I'm going to pass it over to Jen Musinski again, and she can discuss a little bit more about her story, really, as how she found Optavia and why the community is so important to not only her, but the clients.
Hey, thanks, Val. Yes, so just a little bit background. I found Optavia almost 5 years ago. I'm coming up on my 5-year coach anniversary, and I was looking for something that would fulfill my need for community and impact. I had just left the hospital environment. I was I took a break, from being I never took a break from being a dietitian, let me put it that way, but I took a break from the clinical world to focus on, raising my family and doing, the mom thing. So when I went back into the clinical world, things had changed a lot. I found that my days were just filled with charting and administrative work. And I just didn't feel like I was making an impact in that environment. I didn't really have much time to talk with my patients. So that bothered me. And I was it just wasn't worth the low pay and lack of fulfillment and time away from home. And I was missing things that my kids were doing. So I left without a backup plan. And that's when I was searching, and I searched on LinkedIn. But in the meantime, also I was doing cooking demos in elementary schools. I was blogging for a meal kit company. I almost took a job as a home care dietitian where I'd go from home to home and educate, on diabetes and high blood pressure, things like that. But it just didn't feel right in my gut. So I was searching on LinkedIn, and I happened to find Val, and we got along. We bonded over a few things, like we're both from Michigan, and she just had a maturity about her, and we talked for a while, and I thought, like, I looked into Optavia, and I'm like, what's the catch here? I'm like, this seems too good to be true. Like, what's going on here? But after kind of just doing my own research and popping onto a few community calls, and I'll get to the community part, I was hooked, because I was listening week after week to real people sharing their stories, like, and seeing pictures of people, seeing faces literally shrinking before my eyes each week. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is real. It's really happening. So all I could imagine was that would be so cool if my clients were on this call sharing their story, and yeah, I just wanted to be part of it. So I joined about 4.5 years ago, and the rest is history. The community calls now are rocking my calendar. So being a client, an Optavia client and an Optavia coach, you have access to an awesome community. Like, we call it a psychological safe haven almost, because I can't see my picture right now. Okay, there I am. I'm like, what am I seeing? Almost because in this world of like doom and gloom, people need somewhere where they can go to feel safe, to feel supported, somewhere where people can lift them up. We're a very positive environment. I mean, I can't say enough about the community. I think it's what really sets us apart from any other like program out there. Everyone that I've met as an Optavian, we call each other Optavians because we're so like uplifting and positive, and we're always talking about how the obstacle is the way. So just a little glimpse of what we offer our clients. It's a lot of value. Like, every few months we do accountability challenges. I have clients from all over the US that I've just happened to get to know each other because of the Zooms, and it's really fun. They just have that social connection and sense of belonging. And just the personal development that our coaches get, that are offered to our coaches, is worth like the startup alone. I've learned and I've evolved as a person, and that's all I can say about that. So if you're looking for an awesome community to be part of, this is it. And you all know I like to party, so this is a fun party. All right, Danielle, your turn. Like, Danielle, I mean, we just met like a few months ago, and we're like totally click and have a lot of fun. So
Guys,
take it away.
swear this community is where it's at. It's like I reached out and met some other RDs that coach Optavia, and now we've all become friends, and we aren't even in the same areas. It's so cool. If you need a community of uplifting women, you need to be an Optavia coach, because it's so different than the environment that I came from. So I'll share a little bit about how I even found Optavia. I was a clinical dietitian in our little hospital in town, and I was struggling for about 3 years. I was really struggling to lose some weight. I gained through my pregnancy about 30 pounds that just would not come off. And as a dietitian, I knew what to do, and I was practicing what I was teaching, but it wasn't working for me anymore. I started to feel like a fraud because I was counseling patients, outpatients, for weight loss, and I couldn't lose the weight. So it was defeating. So I tried everything to lose weight, and nothing would work for me. So how did I find Optavia? I was scrolling my social media, and lo and behold, a friend of mine that I went to grade school with had posted her transformation story. And I was thinking to myself, well, if she can do it, surely to goodness I can too. She's got to be doing something that obviously, as a dietitian, we don't know everything. Because what I was coaching just wasn't, what I was doing wasn't working. So I surrendered. I put my white flag down, or raised my white flag. And I was like, whatever you're doing, I need to know, because she wasn't a dietitian. She was a speech therapist. I was like, whatever you're doing, I need some of it, right? I was so defeated. She shared the program. She did a health assessment with me where she asked me what my goals were, what my medical history looked like, my medications and things like that. And then she started me on program. Guys, the first week I dropped 6 pounds. I had not lost 6 pounds in 3 years. I felt amazing. The first 30 days, I was down 12 of those 30 pounds. 12 pounds. So when you hear Optavia may not work, oh my gosh, it was the only thing that works. And I remember picking my daughter up from preschool. She was 3 years old, ran up to me and she says, "Mommy, you're so happy." She could tell that her mommy was changing from the inside out, and her mommy was. I was finding who God made me to be again. I had lost her, and she was coming back, and my daughter got to see that. So how exciting, because she can't see weight. She could just tell that mommy was changing. Well, within 3 months, I was down those 30 pounds, and that was 3 years ago. So, after not being able to lose weight and finally being able to lose the weight, the results were undeniably real. Well, guess what? When you start feeling better and you start seeing people, they're going to start asking you what you're doing, right? Because I'm the dietitian. And so people were like, "What are you doing? You look so good. I want to do what you're doing." And that's really how this came to be. People were wanting what I had, right? If people are losing weight, you want to know why. So my coach was like, "Why don't you just partner with Optavia and help your friends and family? You're the one that's going to be talking to them every day." Well, I did. I took that leap of faith and I absolutely joined. Had no idea what was getting ready to happen in my world. I just wanted to take my family on a vacation. I was over 40 years old. I had 2 children, married, and never been able to financially take my family on a vacation. If we got to go on a vacation, somebody else was paying for it, right? Well, that was just one goal that I had, and that's all I wanted to do. Well, I took that vacation that year and paid cash for it and brought my mom and my stepdad with us. And then the next month, I was able to buy new furniture for our home. In a year and a half, I was able to leave that full-time position at our local hospital. And it was such a gift because there was a lady, a dietitian in our hometown in need. She needed that job. I was able to offer that position to her because those type of positions in our little town just don't open up, if you know what I mean. I mean, people thought I was literally crazy to give this position up. And so here we are. And I just want to tell you that this program is absolutely amazing. So I get to talk to you about the nutritional component, the plans. We have lots of different plans that we offer through Optavia. So if you're, if your client has like over 100 pounds to lose, they may not be on the same program that say I was on the 5-in-1. If your client has diabetes, they might be on a different program. We have a nursing moms program. We even have a teen programs for teens. So we meet our clients where they are, and we have a program that's going to meet their needs. And that is what's so exciting. Guys, we get to walk with them through this journey. At the hospital, I wasn't able to see my clients but once a month. That's too long. That's too long. I didn't get to follow up. Well, heck, they fell off the wagon after week 1. They usually came back and they gained weight, but they'd come back. So, they wanted help, but it just wasn't the right program. So you get to meet your clients where they are. You get to meet with them weekly. You get to walk this with them. And you know what? We're just their guides. Like I believe someone said before, like we guide them where they need to go. And we have all the resources that they need to be healthy, to be successful. Like I said, I'm 3 years in on program and I'm very healthy. I'm healthier today than I was 3 years ago. So the program works. So the great thing is that our programs do incorporate Optavia fuelings. They are very healthy. They are designed by registered dietitians like us and food scientists. They have the perfect amount of nutrition in them to give the body exactly what they need. And the reason we do Optavia Fuelings, thank you, Jesus, is because as busy mamas, I tell you what, I do not need to answer or determine one more, answer one more question a day or make one more decision a day. I don't know about you, but this makes it so easy that if a person, your client, does exactly what they're going to do, they're going to get those results. And guess what? They didn't have to go meal prep for 6 meals a day. They only have to meal prep for 1 meal a day. I can do that. And my family eats what I eat. So that's so fun. They love the lean and green meals. So the only thing I ever had to worry about when I went to work was to grab my 4 fuelings for the day. I was out the door. I didn't have to make a decision in the cafeteria. And I don't know about you, but hospital food sometimes just isn't the healthiest. So it was just so easy. And then once I met that weight loss goal, I transitioned back off of the Optavia Fuelings. So you're not on them forever. And then you work back in food groups. And that's the great thing, is that the Habits of Health system is the tool for the education, and it's everything we ever studied in school. It's exactly everything that we ever studied in school, except we didn't study the mindset piece, and that is the missing link. And that does come in the Habits of Health book, because no one got to be overweight because of food itself. It has to do what's in the mind. And I was never taught anything in school about the mind and how the mind plays a huge role in what we put in our mouth. And Optavia has that, and nobody else does. So that I just get very passionate about this because the program does work. The program is absolutely amazing. We would love to partner with you. We would love to show you how you can work this into the nooks and crannies of your day and your already busy life. So if you have any questions about, we're going to open it up for questions. But if you do jump off before your questions are answered, please get with the person that invited you here tonight so that we can share with you more how to get your business set up and get started. This is the perfect time to start your business, because the amount of money that there is a financial benefit of being an Optavia coach. We are offering some major bonuses right now. And I don't know about you, but our grocery bill doubled. It has doubled from this time last year. So any little extra money we get is very nice right now. So with that being said, I'm going to open it up for questions.
People feel comfortable asking the question.
Yeah. Don't be shy. Everybody's safe here. If anyone cares about the Michigan State game, that went into overtime and Michigan State lost. So boo hoo. But anyway.
We had a question in the chat, the success rate. That's a great. So I think it's Shweta asked what the success rate is of the program. Well, I think there's probably actual research statistics